Welcome to my YouTube channel, Vastu Creations. Today we're going to look at the chart for singer, producer, actor Amitabh Bachchan, uh, born October 11, 1942. If you look to the eastern horizon when he was born, you see the constellation associated with Leo rising at 6 degrees. First, we'll look and see how the planets are operating and then when they're operating at different events in his life and what could be done to strengthen the chart. So, first off, Sun is ruling the very first house, rules the chart, and it gives him great leadership abilities. Um, it is a little bit weak because its dispositor Mercury is weak, but gives him leading role abilities in performing arts, and it is the prime health indicator for his chart. And so that means it could affect his digestion, his heart, his immune system, asthma, myasthenia gravis, which are conditions that he has. If we look at the moon, it is ruling the 12th house. So any multicona sign, which is Cancer, ruling that 12th house, the ruler of that sign becomes malefic along with Rahu and Ketu for a Leo chart. And so in the birth chart, it's only at 3 degrees. It's less than 5, so it is an infant state, so a little bit weak. But it is close to the most effective point. So of the rising sign of 6 degrees. So it's within 3 degrees there, a little more than 3 degrees. So Moon is afflicting the third house and the ninth house. So can affect cause some delay to success possibly and good fortune. Now, it does give him the 12th house. It helps you separate from who you are to take on different roles. This is especially important for an actor. So it gives him that. It's sitting in the house of performing arts, and Moon itself is public. So it gives him all those abilities. Now, health-wise, Moon afflicting the third house could cause this tuberculosis of the spine, asthma, and the ninth house affliction by Moon can cause rheumatoid arthritis, hepatitis B, liver issues, autoimmune issues, all of which he did have. Then we have weak, debilitated Mars at 22 degrees. It's ruling the house of good fortune, uh, and it gives him courage and passion because it is a little weak. That ninth house again is liver issues. He's only using a quarter of his liver apparently, and it also can cause neuromuscular issues, which is that myasthenia gravis. Then we have a weak combust close to the sun Mercury ruling the second house, which in his chart is an indicator for career, wealth, and fame. And it's probably one of this, like maybe the second most famous actor in India, um, spanning 4 decades or something like that. 160 movies. And so gives him fame through wealth and fame through singing, acting. Again, because it's a little weak and it's combust the sun, it can affect the neuromuscular issues in the body. Then we have weak infant state Jupiter only at 0 degrees, less than 5 degrees, has trouble promoting or its own significations. It's ruling the house of entertainment, placed in that 12th house, again giving him the ability to take on different roles. Um, but Jupiter itself is liver, so definitely liver issues. Um, and we'll explain how that happened for him in a minute. Weak, debilitated Venus is at 14 degrees, um, gives success through entertainment, sitting in the wealth house, ruling the house of success in performing arts. Then we have Saturn at 19 degrees, ruling the partnership house, sitting in the career house. So it's his relationships with his agent and different and Yash um, Chopra, the director, that got him to be successful in his career. He also took a time off to become chief minister in politics during a certain period, I think 1984. Then Rahu and Ketu, they are within 5 degrees, 4 degrees of his rising sign degree. So it does, these planets cause some stress to 6 out of his 12 houses. The first house, which can affect asthma, which he has. Fifth house, which can affect the liver, which he has. Seventh house, which affects his back, which he does have issues with back and neck issues. Tuberculosis of the spine, particularly. And then in ninth house, rheumatoid arthritis. 11th house, myasthenia gravis. And the third house, tuberculosis. So let's look at the timing of events. So his career began in 1970 as the young, angry Indian in a lot of his movies. He was dubbed, and that was during a Sun period. Sun, taking on these leading roles. Um, and then we have a major accident. He during an action scene, he jumped and miscalculated and had an accident, ended up in the hospital, and got transfusions of blood from somebody who had Hep C, and so didn't find out till quite some time later that this really caused a lot of liver damage. But if you look in the circular chart to the left, the inner circles where the planets were when he was born, just like the chart on the right, only in circular form. And the outer circles where the planets were when the accident happened. You can see that um, Mercury, it was during a Mercury period, and a natal K2 through aspect was afflicting Sun and Mercury in the 12th house, which were all close to the most effective point, as well as Jupiter and Venus. So major 12th house can be end up with hospitalization. So that's what happened. Then in '84 he got this minister job. Became chief minister, and that's when he was diagnosed with the myasthenia gravis, which is causes affliction to his neuromuscular system. Um, and then in 2000, he was diagnosed with hepatitis B and TB for the spine, and all during a time when he was running a television game show during a Venus period. And Venus is connected to the third house, which has to do with TB and entertainment as well. And then his dad passed away in 2003 during a Sun period, Sun indicator of father. '05, he had surgery to his perforated intestines during a Moon period. Moon is ruling the house of surgery and hospitalization. And then we had introduction to boost in his career when 2013 he got the Great Gatsby part, not even playing an Indian, playing a Jewish person. during a Saturn period. Saturn indicator for relationships and career. This was his introduction to Hollywood. And in 2020, he got coronavirus, and 21 he had surgery to the spine and rheumatoid arthritis, all during a K2 period. K2 indicator for surgery. So, what could we do to strengthen the chart? So, everything except Rahu, K2, and Moon doing charity work. He does a lot of that. That'll be the best remedy. You don't want to strengthen Rahu, K2, or Moon since they're malefic. But the rest of the planets could be strengthened through my favorite remedy, a kavash, silver locket containing the Devata yantras and mantras for Venus, Mars, Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn. If you're interested in getting a reading or learning Vedic astrology, you can go to vastucreations.com. Thank you so much for listening. May he continue to have an amazing career.